I obtained a game key for Pirates VR Jolly Roger from VRKiwi for review purposes. Pirates VR Jolly Roger is a virtual reality adventure developed by Splitlight Studio and published by VRKiwi. Initially released for PC VR on January 14th of 2025, the game has now made its way to PSVR 2 as of May 15th, 2025. While its title and promotional materials suggest a full-fledged pirate fantasy, the actual gameplay leans more toward environmental puzzle solving and exploration. Rather than engaging in large-scale ship battles or open-world plundering, players will spend most of their time navigating confined spaces, collecting items, and solving puzzles in an experience that feels more akin to an escape room than an action-adventure epic. The game follows a straightforward narrative. After a brief encounter in a tavern where you're handed a treasure map, from there the game unfolds as a series of themed chapters, ranging from beaches and jungles to prisons and temples, where you'll need to survive environmental hazards, uncover hidden pathways, and occasionally fend off enemies like skeletons or wild animals. Though the story serves primarily as a backdrop, it provides enough context to keep players engaged as they progress through the island's challenges.
Ha! I can do it. Piece of cake. Must be another one.
Despite the adventurous theme, the gameplay is more reminiscent of a well-designed VR escape room than a traditional pirate romp. The core loop revolves around interacting with the environment, pulling levers, collecting gears to open ancient doors, solving environmental puzzles, and occasionally engaging in some light combat. It's a slower-paced, exploration-heavy experience that prizes tactile interaction over bombastic action. The pirate theme, while ever present in the aesthetic, often feels like a backdrop rather than a central mechanic.
I bet you can't even lift the door. Ah, that was impressive. Wow. For a human, at least. I'm not going in there. Ah, claustrophobia, you know.
Movement and controls are intuitive and well thought out. You move using the analog sticks, and in the water, you can use the analog sticks to swim around, or you can physically swim using your arms, both of which feel smooth and responsive. Climbing is handled through hand-over-hand motion, and while it occasionally suffers from awkward hit detection or hand clipping issues, it mostly feels satisfying. One gripe is that sometimes both hands are required on the same ledge, which can be finicky and occasionally leads to frustrating falls. You also have an endurance meter that governs climbing and underwater breath holding, which adds light pressure but never feels unfair. That said, a few bugs, such as being warped into unintended areas, did mar the experience at times, especially during the prison level. The inventory system is thoughtfully implemented. Items are picked up by using L1 or R1 and used with L2 or R2. You can also store objects in your inventory or assign them to a quick slot on your chest, allowing you to grab them without opening the menu. While this chest slot system is slick and immersive, the game rarely puts you in situations where quick reflexes or item swapping is necessary, making it more of a convenience than a crucial mechanic. Your pistol and lantern are stored at your waist for easy access, reinforcing a tactile sense of readiness when combat does pop up. Combat in Jolly Roger is minimal but effective. You will use swords for close-range skirmishes and pistols for taking out enemies from afar. The shooting and slashing both feel weighty enough to be satisfying without being overly complex. The lantern is a standout tool. It not only lights your way, but can unleash a burst of flame to damage enemies. Ammo and lantern fuel are limited early on, encouraging some resource management, but by the game's final chapters, you'll likely be fully stocked. Combat isn't a primary focus, but it adds a welcome burst of intensity in an otherwise cerebral adventure. The puzzle design is one of the game's highlights. None of the challenges are overly difficult, but they are varied enough to stay engaging throughout. Some require manipulating objects, finding hidden components like gears or keys, or navigating mazes and traps. Optional side challenges like climbing trials are a fun aside rewarded to players who discover extra loot through exploration. While the game isn't lengthy, expect 3 to 4 hours for the main path and maybe 6 for those who explore thoroughly, there's enough variety to keep the journey feeling fresh. Where Pirates VR really shines is in its environmental design and immersive interactivity. Playing on the PSVR 2, the world looks stunning. Each area, whether it's a beachy shoreline, a damp prison complex, or a mystic temple buried deep in the island, is filled with vivid detail and texture. Crystals glow with haunting beauty, water ripples and reflects naturally, and vines sway in the breeze. This is the kind of VR world that makes you want to stop and just take in your surroundings. The headset haptics are also well used, offering subtle feedback when interacting with objects or taking damage. The result is a world that feels tactile and alive.
I bet you wish you had wings, huh?
Audio design is equally commendable. The music hits the right notes of swashbuckling adventure, while also shifting to eerie ambiance in darker, more suspenseful areas. Voice acting, especially from your feathered parrot companion, is surprisingly solid. Dialogue is frequent but never grating, and helps maintain the game's lighthearted tone. The environmental sounds, rustling trees, lapping water, clattering bones, and the echo of your footsteps, deepen the immersion in meaningful ways. Altogether, the sound design complements the visual presentation perfectly. Still, the pirate theming feels undercooked. There are delightful little touches, gold coins scattered in secret nooks, a talking parrot, and a general sense of treasure hunting wonder, but it never goes far enough. You can't drink from the mugs in the tavern. There are no naval battles. There's no grog-fueled singing, gambling, or sword duels on deck. The game flirts with the idea of letting you live out the pirate fantasy, but ultimately pulls back in favor of a more grounded, almost Indiana Jones-style adventure. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a missed opportunity.
The flower shimmers with ancient magic, it does.
Pirates VR Jolly Roger is not the all-out pirate simulator some might expect, but it is a tightly crafted, visually impressive VR adventure that rewards curiosity, delivers satisfying puzzle gameplay, and provides a genuinely fun world to explore. It's short and occasionally glitchy, but what it offers is memorable and engaging. With a bit more polish and deeper commitment to its pirate premise, this could have been a VR classic. As it stands, it's a solid addition to the PSVR 2 library, and a worthy excursion for treasure hunting adventurers looking for a few good hours of immersive fun. I give Pirates VR Jolly Roger a 7.5 out of 10.
What treasures hide beneath these waves?